And hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on our live stream at the Florida School of Massage. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Christina Polney, and I'm here with Arun Blatchley, and behind the scenes we have Sarah Thompson and Chrissy Martinez. And I'm so thankful for them because without them, we would not be here. And of course, we've been very motivated and inspired to continue to get creative and find ways to stay in community with one another, in connection through these ongoing extraordinary times we're all experiencing. And of course, we're not at school, but we're coming to you from home. And at FSM, we're so looking forward to being in class and resuming in-person classes as soon as we can. So as always, I know we have a variety of listeners from all different backgrounds, and some of you are very familiar with our community. And for those of you who are brand new, I would just like to say welcome. And yes, we are a massage school, and yet it's really so much more than that. So many of our past students and professionals continue to return to Gainesville for continuing education and advanced training, but also just to dip into this place of ongoing learning of not only hands-on body work, but also the exploration of our inner world through this vehicle of touch, presence, awareness, and communication, both verbal and nonverbal. And we're just really looking forward to this online time together. Now, we're going to have about an hour to talk with Arun about his own path to the Florida School of Massage. And Arun completed our program in 2016 and is currently in private practice and teaching Qigong. He has 13 years of experience in the practice of Qigong, meditation, and Chinese martial arts. And Arun's not only watched his training keep him really healthy, but also really adding to the effectiveness of his treatments. And today he's going to be teaching us some practical techniques for relaxation and awareness. And goodness knows we could all use more of that these days. So what we'll do is we'll reserve time for your questions and comments towards like the last 15 minutes or so. And I know you're either joining us on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, so type your questions or comments into the chat, and it's our goal to interact with as many of you as possible. And Sarah and Chrissy will be monitoring those for us. And if you're joining us on YouTube, you can go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel by hitting that red button below. And remember to hit the notification button as well to get reminders. And for those of you on Facebook, you can like this video and follow us there. So I'm just so delighted to be with Arun. He's one of my favorite humans. And now, Arun, you've been with the Florida School of Massage community for several years already now. And I know some of our listeners, of course, through FSM know you very well.
That's right. And until recently, I was in admissions at the school.
Yes, and for some of our listeners who are new, they may not know you at all. So before we move into our discussion and the lesson that you're going to teach us, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and just what originally inspired you to study massage and how you were led to FSM?
Well,
where to begin, right?
Where to begin? I mean, I guess, just to begin, I can offer my gratitude to you because I'm excited to be having this space with you. And although I can't see all of you who are joining us for the live stream today, your presence is adding to this experience to me. And I hope to get whatever questions that come to your mind as we're having this conversation. When I talk about Qigong and this sort of thing, I most love interacting with people where they're at in their experience. So like Christina, like you said, I've been practicing Chinese martial arts, Qigong, meditation since about 2007. So about 13 years or so, depending on where I mark the anniversary. And through my life up until starting at Florida School of Massage, I essentially imagined that whatever I did with Chinese martial arts, with Qigong, it would be on the periphery in my life. Like it would be sort of a passionate
Yeah.
side project vocation. And, you know, I went to college for undergraduate. I got a Bachelor of Science in International Studies. For many years, I was heavily involved with radio in various forms, both, you know, music, talk radio, broadcast journalism. Um, Something that has always been true for me in my professional life is I love stories,
Mm.
in the sense that I really enjoy meeting people and learning about them and hearing their experiences, getting to know them. And, you know, over the years, I have found that it is a a fascination for me that's without a goal. You know, that it's not necessarily that it's like, oh, I want this person to like me, or, you know, I want to fix this person. But, you know, there's I basically just have a really open-ended interest in people. Um, and that took me through broadcasting and, you know, news media until 2016 was when I decided to step away from that. Considering what was going on in news in the United States in 2016, I feel like I made the right call for my mental health.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about, you know, what can I do next? And I was, at the time, I had been introduced to the Japanese concept of ikigai, um, which, if you haven't heard of it, or those of you who are listening, if you haven't heard of it, ikigai is essentially a Venn diagram, you know, many circles interlaced together that you use to figure out the thing that at that time in your life you're best suited to do in the world. It's a combination of, you know, what am I passionate about?
Yeah.
What are the things that I am trained in? You know, what are the things that I am practically good at? And what is the need? You know, what is the world looking for that I could potentially provide?
Yeah.
Uh, and I really wanted my martial arts and my qigong practice to fit into that ikigai somehow in a really pragmatic way. And so, you know, I had passion was people, meeting people, knowing people, you know, getting to be with people and their stories and experiences. The thing that I'm good at being Chinese martial arts, Qigong, meditation. Um, and I settled on healthcare, in general first. And it was, you know, it seemed like, thinking about martial arts background, it was that, law enforcement and security, or military in some way. And I didn't feel drawn to the military, and I didn't feel like I had the character or the temperament to get into law enforcement in this country. And so for me, it was healthcare. And then from there, it was, I wanted something that, you know, would make my own physical training and my interest in my own body, my strength, my energy, my, you know, mobility, flexibility. I wanted it to be really directly relevant to the career I was practicing. Like,
Yeah.
if I went into acupuncture school and invested that time and energy, I might not use my, shall we say, physical prowess, whatever that may be, as much in the career. But
Yeah.
I realized that with massage therapy, I could. You know, my strength, my ability to feel and generate power through my body, the sensitivity that I develop in my body,
Hmm.
and what I learned through my practice about awareness, about presence, about being graceful under pressure, um, all seemed to really mesh well with the idea of massage therapy.
Yeah.
Um, and I think massage therapy is one of the things that, so that other piece of the Venn diagram, you know, what does the world really need? Right now, therapy and massage therapy especially are growing fields. You know,
Yeah.
people are realizing the value not only of professional care, but touch-based professional care, and what
Yes.
that gives us in terms of our physical health, but also our mental health and our overall feeling of lightness and ease and, shall we say, spiritual openness in the world. And so I went to Florida School of Massage. And became a massage therapist.
Good choice. That's so great. And so you just said so many amazing things. And, one of the things that strikes me immediately about what a lineup that was for you is really how physical the profession of massage is in the most wonderful way. We really are constantly exploring our own physicality and how that relates to the other person that we're sharing presence or space with or touch with. And yeah, it's almost like everyone should and could, not should, but could benefit from practicing Qigong.
Yeah.
Either before, during, or after massage school. Now, I know you made a personal commitment to study martial arts at a young age and have been studying them, as you said, for about 13 years now. And can you share your inspiration that led you to originally study and practice both martial arts and Qigong? I mean, Qigong, of course, is a martial art. You could probably say more about that too.
Yes, I can. And I think first, at least for me to get my own thoughts in order, it's valuable for me to speak about, like, when I say martial arts, like, what do I mean? What does that include? And hopefully that'll help what I'm about to say to be understood as far as why I got into it. The way I approach martial arts and the way martial arts was introduced to me was as a comprehensive program, that not only includes obvious elements of self-defense, but also building on health and vitality, creating longevity for myself, for my physical body, for my mind, for my mental acuity, as well as a vehicle for deeply learning about myself and who I am and my relationship to the universe at large. Like, it's how martial arts was introduced to me was as that whole encompassing package. Not only physical obvious self-defense, because if I'm training that stuff, but in training it causing my actual overall physical health to degrade, not good. If I'm, taking care of my physical health and I'm able to defend myself, but I don't have opportunity or space to, like, grow as a person and, learn about my relationship to things like pride and greed and anger and, again, not as good as it could be. And then, if I have all of those in my training, but if my training doesn't then enhance my ability to be in the world and connect with other people and be a source of goodness in the world, then again, not as good. And I believe that martial arts practice can be all of those things simultaneously. I got into it initially for more vain reasons than that. When I was, I remember well, when I was in high school, I had a complex around feeling whether or not I was deserving. Whatever blessings I had in my life, or, the things that were gifted to me, given to me, I had, like, I don't know, kind of an inferiority complex around, like, why do I have this? I don't deserve this. This doesn't feel good to me. And what first attracted me to Kung Fu, Qigong in general was this idea really clearly of, like, you put in the time, you get the dime. Like, the effort that you put in to yourself, to your practice, to your health, you directly see in the results, in the changes that are made.
So true.
And that was so empowering for me at the time, to be able to do something, follow some steps of some practice,
Yeah.
and observe a clear, meaningful change. It was like, you know, there was no question about whether or not I deserved it, because
Mhm.
it felt like it was me. Like it was all
Yeah.
me. Like I did this, I gave this to myself. No one can take it away from me. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, but like that put my confidence up so high, having that.
Yeah. That's so
And
that's so beautiful. Continue.
well, and over time, that of course that has continued to be true. Like something that continues to motivate me in my practice is, finding where I can grow, what are my limits, what can change and be more positive, stronger, more available, mobile, soft. I could throw lots of words out there.
Yeah.
But also, eventually I did realize how doing these kinds of practices and enhancing myself in this way is a force for good in the world.
Yeah.
That the healthier I am, the more clear-headed I am, the stronger I am under pressure and stress, and so on, the better I'm able to be there for people in need. The
Yeah.
better I'm able to be there for people who are suffering. Um, there's sort of an analogy, if I can divert for a moment, where
Sure.
in Chinese martial arts, in Kung Fu, there is this skill called iron shirt or golden bell. And the idea is through a very gradual process of conditioning that you can withstand strikes on your body, and they talk even about like spears and arrows and swords, like breaking off on somebody's arms or across their belly. And I think about that and I think about like, wow, what an incredible opportunity for compassion.
Mm.
If I am such a person where I am stable and comfortable and at peace, when somebody's cracking like a sword across my body, like, wow, what a, how much can I be there for people to really see them where they are and understand them and have empathy for them. And that's kind of a crazy, extrapolation maybe, but that is how I feel about my own practice and how I work to develop myself, that it enables me to be for people and be for the world in the best way that I can. Um,
Doesn't sound crazy at all. It sounds actually very wise for your young age. And, something a lot of us learn about when we attend massage school. And I know for me as a young person, of course, I can relate to so much of what you're saying. And this idea of like self care, like caring for myself
mhm.
as being somewhat selfish. And we talk about this a lot at the massage school as well. And really, what you're saying is the idea that taking care of yourself and your health and your vitality and your longevity is really the greatest service that you can do for other people.
Yes.
And you just described that really well in your iron shirt example. So thank you for that.
No, you're welcome. And like, especially when, like, if we're talking about a career of some sort,
Yeah.
when I think about professional athletes, for instance, like a tennis player,
Yeah.
no tennis player waits to learn their skills in playing tennis until when they're having a tennis match with somebody.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
they practice, they take
They
time by
do.
themselves, they isolate the skills that are important to them. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's true for massage therapy as well, that there's so
Yeah.
much possible to do away from the table, away from, you know, you're in the thick of it with your client. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Um, that I feel is really fundamental to being successful in the career. But anyway,
Yeah. I just, I could talk about Qigong with you all day
yeah,
because Aaron and I have had the fun and pleasure of being in a variety of different classes together. And I know for me as a young person, when I first was exposed to Qigong back in the early 90s, I also felt like it really taught me to think about enjoying my life too, and
Mm.
enjoying my work, and enjoying the practice of having a practice, if that makes sense. So I feel like you're really speaking to that too. And I think where I'd like to go next is I'd like to ask you, so how did your study of massage and body work at FSM, at the Florida School of Massage,
Mm.
enhance your martial arts and your Qigong practice and also your teaching?
Yeah. Well, first of all, a lot of what I'm going to say, I think, is very specific to the Florida School of Massage. Like when I was preparing to go to massage school, I didn't know anything about Florida School of Massage. I'd heard some things here and there from friends of mine who had attended the school, but I didn't exactly shop around,
Uh-huh.
and I I had the expectation that I would attend massage school, and basically what I would get from it was the background knowledge I would need for my license and practical hands-on techniques, and I would take care of the rest. That was my imagination.
Sure.
I certainly got that, um, but I got more. And the, the one way I can summarize it is there is a saying that I picked up through Chinese martial arts, through Kung Fu and Qigong, that is, once you have the map, all routes become clear,
Mm,
which is a poetic way of saying that once you grasp the essence of a thing, you immediately comprehend all of its manifestations, all of the different ways that that essence comes out.
hmm.
And so, what I encountered in my training in massage therapy at Florida School of Massage was the same essence that was powering my Qigong and Kung Fu practice. Things like, how do you reliably and effectively enter into a meditative state of mind? How do you relax your whole system, your whole being?
Yes.
How do you enter into an effortless kind of concentration? Um, how do you take that feeling, that overall feeling, and bring an awareness to your body, to your, not just your physical body and all the different, squeaks and squirts and movements in there, but also my emotional body, that aspect, and, my thoughts and patterns of identity. You know, a lot of my experience in massage therapy was through both giving and receiving massage, having another way of really just getting to know myself.
Yeah.
I through my experiences in massage and in my qigong practice, my my approach, or my experience with body work and therapy in general, has been one of assisted self-care, assisted self-study. I think anybody who knows anything about massage therapy knows that, you know, we don't actually do a lot, in the sense that, like, if you were my client, Christina, and I was to say to you, whatever your problem is, I can fix you. Like, anybody who knows anything about the body would know that that's functionally incorrect. Like, I, as a therapist, provide awareness through various techniques, through various skills, and then the person I'm working with, their mind, their body makes the change.
Yeah.
Um, and that is also true of Qigong and meditation, in my opinion. That,
Yeah.
except instead of it being a therapist and a client, it's my mind with my body,
Sure.
but the
Yeah.
same kind of relationship, that
Yeah.
I can hold awareness, I can bring attention, I can explore possibilities, but I can't force things. It's like my body needs to kind of do it itself, um, as a result of that awareness and attention. I don't know. Am I making sense? Is that speaking to your
Absolutely.
question?
Absolutely. I think it's, the unspoken part of um, a practice, either a Qigong practice or entering into the field of body work, really for both things. It's this ability to drop into ourselves
Yeah.
that's so powerful, and it really is about the unfolding of ourselves and how we choose to share that with the world and how we choose to help others by being present with them to allow for their own unfolding. And that feels so true in Qigong. It feels so true in body work and really in life. I mean, to me, that was a very empowering and freeing lesson as a young person all those years ago. And I
Mm.
know, I know now, especially like we're challenged in this time of COVID-19 that we're in, and in our daily lives and in our work lives, and for a variety of reasons and circumstances, right? Like whether you're a teacher or a frontline worker, parents teaching their kids at home, like there's so many examples of that. And I just like to ask you how you would describe the benefits of since we're talking about Qigong today,
Yeah.
specifically a Qigong practice, and not only for health and wellness, but also for our work life and everyday
Yeah.
situations that we find ourselves in.
Well, I'll start with like critical information, and then I'll go a bit deeper. First for those who don't know, who've never heard of Qigong before, Qigong is a Chinese word. It's two characters, Qi and Gong. The Qi is broadly meaning like energy, life energy, cosmic energy, vital energy, like the the various subtle forces that animate my body, your body, everyone's body. And Gong means skill or art. And so, taken quite literally, you get the phrase energy skill or energy art. If I was to flesh the translation out a bit, it is the art or skill of managing and enhancing your own body's energy. Um,
Nice. I
and
like
and
that.
and energy is not separated from the rest of the stuff that is my body. Like that also refers to blood. It also refers to nerves, hormones, functioning of my liver, kidneys, etc. organs, as well as um, my mental acuity, my ability to concentrate, my intellect, my emotional resiliency. Qigong is a branch of Chinese medicine, and Chinese medicine includes things like acupuncture, herbology, Chinese massage, and within Chinese medicine, within all of these arts and skills, you're looking at an approach to health and vitality that includes all of those things, mental, emotional, and physical.
Wait a minute. Are you
Yeah,
telling us that the body, mind, and spirit are connected?
no, yes, yes, I am. um,
Sorry,
no,
continue.
it's okay. Sometimes it seems to me like a no-brainer,
Yeah.
but and yet in my own practice, like, I'm still breaking down what to me is the misconception of all those different pieces of myself being functionally separate.
Yeah.
It's a gradual process
Yeah.
integrating all of those things.
Absolutely.
I think some would say that the gradual integration of all those things is actually the path towards health and vitality, spiritual cultivation. But that's separate. Anyway,
We'll have
so
to have
that's
another live stream about that.
so that's the model that Qigong works within, and where Qigong stands apart from all of those other things is that Qigong is the only one of those that you can offer to yourself. Um,
Yeah.
for all of the other aspects of Chinese medicine, you need another professional to help you. Where Qigong, all you need is a teacher to initiate you, and then it's all you. It's your
Yeah.
practice at home, at work, anytime you have a spare moment. It's up to you to determine for yourself what kinds of projects you're excited about for
Yeah.
building your body, building your health. Um, the fundamental principles of Qigong, regardless of what you're doing or how rigorous it is, are relaxation and awareness, just like good massage and body work.
Yeah.
That, and we'll have an experience of this in a little bit, but
Yeah.
we start from a foundation of softness, of openness, of care and awareness of ourselves. And everything that, you know, I wonder, if you're really listening to what I'm saying, everybody who's streaming in and taking that to heart, how does that feel in your body when you think about offering those things to yourself? That is the fundamental state that we go to before doing anything else in Qigong. And without it, it's not Qigong. Without it, we might be doing push-ups, we might be running, we might be lifting weights, but the difference with Qigong is that anything that we're doing, if we're in that state, it's enhancing our lives. It's enhancing our longevity. We're not building up muscle only to have it break down and end up with atrophy and arthritis 50 years down the line. We're building ourselves up in a way that whatever we gain, we keep.
Yeah.
And I could talk more about that. I could talk more about, connective tissue. I could talk about hormones. I could talk about reflex arc and muscular skeletal things. But ultimately, it comes down to, like, what would life be like if you felt easy in your body, but also stable and comfortable? If you felt overall lighthearted in your day-to-day activities, and generally happy, and that you responded to whatever situations still within that same state. You know what?
Yeah.
If you had I'm talking to everybody who's streaming in. Like, if you had a difficult situation today of some sort, how would it have gone differently if you had those qualities? And if you're interested in those qualities, and if you're interested in living a life with them and what that would feel like, practice Qigong.
Amen to that, brother. So, gosh, there's so many things that we could talk about and directions we could go in, but maybe it'd be good to set up the technique that you're going to be sharing with us.
Yeah.
I mean, you already described what the word Qigong means, but for our listeners who have no exposure or have never experienced a Qigong exercise, why don't you just, set that up for us?
Shall we do a short session?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so
because the one thing I wanted to say as you were talking earlier is that really what's so beautiful about a Qigong practice or a meditation practice is that the awareness and the growth and this organic biofeedback mechanism that happens, it comes through direct experience. Like, you could read about it, you could study it, you could talk about it, you can see an outline of how to do it. And that's the beauty of a daily practice, is that direct experience. So anyway, set us up for a direct experience.
Well, so essentially, we'll be standing up. So for those of you at home who would like to participate, I recommend finding for yourself a space where you feel comfortable standing and also keeping your eyes mostly closed. So you'll want it to be a space in your room or wherever where you feel like you can move your arms, you can move your legs, and you won't be worried if your eyes are closed. Like, you won't worry about hitting anything, stepping on anything, tripping over anything. We're going to learn a Qigong technique and then we'll go through a short session together. So while you all are finding that space and getting yourself set up, I'm going to mute myself for a few moments and just adjust my camera so that I can stand up too.
Okay, great. So I just want to say hello to a few other people that I see here. Hi, Anne, and hi, Leanne. So nice to have you joining us. That looks good, Aaron.
That looks good. You can
Yeah.
see the whole body?
Yeah, you look
Okay.
good.
So let's learn an exercise. This is a very simple exercise that I'm going to teach. It's from a set of techniques called the 12 treasures. It's two techniques, actually. It's called rowing the boat and kneading the dough. Very simply, it looks like this. And I'm going to move at a slight angle so you can see the whole movement.
Okay.
I step out a little bit wider, about hip width with my feet. And very simply, the first exercise, rowing the boat, I bring my arms up the sides of my body. I extend them forward, and then they sink down. And I continue with that movement in a very gentle loop, over and over again. I don't have to worry about my breathing. I just make my breathing full and natural in whatever state. Now, kneading the dough, the second movement, is simply the same movement, but going in the opposite direction. I extend my arms and lift them up and pull them back, and then let them relax down. You might notice that now that I've started moving, it's not just my arms that are moving. My whole body is moving. Everything is moving, and that's good. We're learning the technique, but now we're actually going to go in the session and practice Qigong, because learning the technique was not actually doing Qigong per se. One quick thing before we dive in. Obviously, I can't see anyone who's practicing, so it's not like I'm going to correct anyone or offer anyone any modifications. But even if I could see you, I wouldn't correct you, because for me, the most important thing is for however you're moving to be enjoyable for you, for it to feel pleasurable, for it to feel like something you want to do. Change anything about this exercise that you want to in service of that. Make sense?
And that makes perfect sense, Aaron. And I just want to add one more comment to that, and that is, for some people, I know it can feel a little scary and unsafe to close your eyes. So that's a good example of adjusting for your own practice. And even just like downcasting your eyes or lowering your eyelids so that it brings you into a more internal space without having to close your eyes, as an example.
Well, so let's get started. I'd like you to stand upright, feet fairly close together to start with, and just start wobbling around on your spot a little bit. You can see I'm shifting my weight forward and back, side to side. I'm feeling my feet's connection on the floor. And then after a few moments, let yourself come back to center, though it might feel like a new and improved center. And then when you're ready, I'd like you to close your eyes. Very gently, and feel free to modify this if you like, as Christina said, and you're welcome to blink the eyes open anytime you feel a need to check out your surroundings, but otherwise, keeping the eyes mostly closed. I'd like you to bring your attention to your head and to whatever sensations you feel in your head. You might feel your expression on your face. You might feel other things around the skull, around the hair. Whatever you feel, I would like you to feel those things, but also imagine or encourage a feeling of softness. It's easy to feel softness in the face. See if you can let your face feel available for whatever. You're free to wrinkle your eyebrows, wiggle your nose, your lips, move your jaw. Don't be rigid. Let the jaw release, let the mouth hang gently open. Take this and bring your attention into the neck and the shoulders. Again, what do you feel? What are the differences in sensation, front to back, side to side? And as you're feeling them, soften the neck and the shoulders. Again, soft means not rigid. Let your neck and your shoulders feel free to drift and float, to shrug a little bit if they want to, or sink towards the floor for the neck to twist and bend. When you're ready, feel into the chest and the belly and the back, the spine. Again, softness. There's no need to be rigid. There's no need to tighten your abs. There's no need to flex the spine. Let your whole torso feel free to turn, bend, shift. Everything soft, nothing rigid. Let the arms hang comfortably down towards the floor. Let the legs and the hips soften so that the whole body, including the knees, the ankles, and the feet, can be standing softly on the floor. And if you've done this correctly, you'll find that even if you're mostly feeling still, there's movement. You're letting yourself go a bit. There's no need for rigidity, but you're softly standing. You should also breathe and enjoy your breath. See if you can use your breath, your full breath, to soften everything again with every breath. What we're doing is entering into a meditative state of mind. We're entering into the state of being that is fundamental for any Qigong, any meditation. And so now we'll do our exercise. If you like, you can open the eyes enough to get the gist of it again, or you can just continue as best as you remember. Rowing the boat and kneading the dough. The arms flowing in a circle in front of my body and up and down the sides. Anytime I like, I can change the direction of the circle. Now, Qigong is an internal art. Internal arts happen on the inside. So as much as possible, don't look at me. Don't follow what I'm doing. Enjoy your own movement. Breathe full, comfortable breaths and enjoy your own breath. Don't worry. Don't try to think too much about it. Just simply make the exercise enjoyable for you. There's no wrong way to do it. No detail that is more important than enjoying yourself, than feeling your body. Let every repetition bring you deeper into yourself, your own feelings, your own sensations, your own movement. We'll only be here for about a little less than another minute. Get the most out of this, the most enjoyment. See if you can feel the whole body getting involved. How do the knees move? How do the hips and the low back move? The shoulders, the neck and the head. In this exercise, everything should be involved in some way. Soft, like water, like floating through a stream. We're almost through with the exercise. What I'd like you to do is, over the next few moments, just let the exercise get sloppier and sloppier. I've already said that the form isn't important, but let it get even less important. Let it get sloppier and sloppier. Each repetition, the form leaks away a little bit more, until eventually you're not really doing the exercise anymore, but you're still soft. You're still moving and shifting in some way. And all I would like you to do is enjoy that movement. Let yourself flow naturally. Feel your sensations. Feel your momentum. Don't worry. Don't think too much about it. Simply experience all that is going on. If your mind wanders, that's okay. All I ask you to do is keep some of your attention here. Your mind right now is like a caring parent, and your body is the child. And with your attention and permission, your body right now is putting all of its resources towards healing itself, towards nourishing itself, strengthening itself. Let's take a few moments and enjoy this feeling. Now, however you're flowing, however you're shifting, I would like you to very gently intend yourself into a more upright position. Standing more upright, more centered, but still soft. Soft so that even though if someone was looking at you, they might not see you moving in any way, you can still feel so much going on inside you. And then, when you're ready, I'd like you to just gently blink the eyes open. And that was our short session. So if you'd like, if you've been following along, I recommend taking a moment just to kind of shake yourself out, get some water if you'd like. Christina is back in the frame. Hi, Christina.
Hi there. Thank you so much for that exercise.
So that is a fundamental practice session in Qigong. In that session, we practice the fundamental skills of any Qigong, regardless of whether we're interested in health and reversing disease, whether we're interested in physical strength and mobility, or we're interested in martial art power, if we're interested in healing abilities, which is another aspect of Qigong, or if we're interested in spiritual work, through religion or not through religion. All of those different paths depend on my ability to work with the skills that I presented in this session.
Yes.
They're what make Qigong more than simple physical exercise. You know, you're doing more than simply burning calories. Your body is taking the permission and taking the energy that you're generating through your movement to really work on itself, to grow, to not just negatively adapt to stressful circumstances, but to, really be in a state of there's nowhere to go, nothing to do, no threats. I'm going to grow.
Yes, it's like pushing the pause button. And on that note, I would love to pause here and call Sarah back in. Sarah, can you hear us? Sarah?
Yes.
Are you in a Qigong state of mind?
I'm just so deeply meditating.
I was just curious, and if any of you out there had any questions or comments or experiences you would like to share, you could type those into the chat for us. And Sarah, I'm not sure if there's any comments. I know we're all just experiencing the exercises.
Yeah. Well, I feel curious to know, what are the ways, Aaron, that you feel this experience that we just had together directly translates into your massage practice the way you were mentioning earlier?
Well, that's a great question. For me, it can be summarized in the idea that I can't give something that I don't have. The way I think of massage therapy and therapy in general is, it's mind to mind, it's heart to heart. There may be a conduit that is my hands, or, some other contact on my body, my forearms, my elbows. And that's a conduit from my mind, my heart, to my client's mind and my client's heart. And so what we just did and the skills that I presented there are important to me because as a therapist, it feels crucial that I consciously develop the skills of relaxation, of awareness, and of compassion for myself. I am, if to someone who's a massage therapist or who's interested in healing work that's listening right now, I would say that, if you look at yourself, if you look at the extent to which you are able to be kind to yourself, to be present for yourself without judgment, that's the extent to which you can offer those qualities to other people also, in an authentic way. And so my mind is that anyone who's entering this kind of career should be continuously investing time and energy into cultivating those qualities, along with whatever practical hands-on skills and strength that we may be wanting to develop. Is there more to that question that I could expand on, or what do you think?
I think that's really great. Thank you so much.
Any other questions, Sarah, or comments that you'd like to share?
I don't see any other questions coming in at this point from our end.
Well, I just want to say that was really lovely. And really what you're saying is, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
Yeah. And
love that.
And
so
that's
much.
what I offer to people. There's all the technical skills that I can come up with and work with, some of which I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
But, if upon receiving my contact, a person's body and mind and energy don't feel safe, feel suspicious, then the work won't go. The work won't happen. In a way, I kind of think of massage and body work as it's kind of like, it's like our computers right now. It's like we're linking up our two awarenesses. It's like our bodies and minds are two computers linking up, and together their power is greater for solving problems, for growing, for changing, than it would be if it was just the one body working by itself.
Absolutely. And we're all just learning that especially in this time because we're all doing so much more online than we ever have before. And so
Yeah.
that's such a good point. I mean, in this moment, I feel totally connected to you. And I have a question for you. One of the things we always ask at the end of our live streams, and something that we talk about at the massage school, and also in our catalog and things like that, is this concept of living life on your own terms. And I'd really like to ask you actually what that means to you, and how you've embodied that and how you've grown in that through your experiences of Qigong and also your time in our community at the Florida School of Massage. What does it mean to live your life on your own terms? What does it mean to you?
Well, I think there's a quality that is expressed in that phrase, live life on your own terms, that summarizes some of what's available in attending Florida School of Massage, in terms of personal growth and awareness. That living life on my own terms starts with actually feeling what it is that I want. What is it that I want? Not, what has somebody told me that I should want, things like that, and that's a process of first just meeting myself. It's also possible to go deeper within that, that I might, for me, living on my own terms might start with, such and such a person has made me mad for my whole life, and I've always done nothing about it, and I'm going to do something about it. Or it could be like, there's this goal or this project or this item that I've wanted my whole life, but I have not felt deserving of it, or I have not felt like it was my place somehow to go for it. But you know what? I want it. I'm going to live life on my own terms. I'm going to go and I'm going to get it. That can be a really enriching growth process to, follow those instincts and not hold myself back because of those kinds of judgments of deficiency. However, I think that live life on your own terms can also go to a different level from that, where it can also go to a level that is, who is the me that is not the anger at the perceived wrong? Who is the me that is not caught up in the desiring of things that I don't have? What do they want? What is, when I contact that space within myself, how am I led? What are the actions that I'm drawn to perform? What are the words that I'm drawn to say? And then I think we start getting at, I don't know, something really profound.
Thanks so much. That's so beautiful. I loved hearing that. And I really want to thank you so much, Aaron, my brother from another mother, for joining us. And yes, indeed. And if you have any questions for Aaron or are interested in his classes, you can email him at zenhumans@gmail.com. And we'll include those details in the show notes too. So, in case you don't have a pen nearby.
I am teaching class online. Right.
Online, great,
so
yeah.
If you
so
reach out to me, we can find a way to connect you with classes as you.
We can meet again in the Zoom room. That'd be so fun. And if you've enjoyed your time with us today, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting that subscribe button below. And you can also share it with your friends, and you can also click the notifications button. You can also follow us and like this video on Facebook. And if you'd like to learn more about the school, the Florida School of Massage, you can visit our website, floridaschoolofmassage.com, and you can also register there for our live stream and newsletter. And this way, whenever we're having one, you'll get a notification in your email. And you can contact us there, and we'd be happy to connect with you and even share more information and keep you informed about when we will be starting live classes again, and even set up a live call with you. And we can even do virtual tours. We figured that out. Amazing. And we're going to be doing our next live stream also on Thursday, October 15th. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be interviewing Gil Headley, who is an amazing visionary and has this fascinating approach to human anatomy. He's been teaching in the dissection lab to folks from a variety of modalities since around 1995. And initially he trained as a rolfer and then directed his energy towards creating an integral approach to the study of the human body, which is coherent with this holistic body of philosophies of the hands-on health and fitness fields. And currently his work is based out of the Institute of Anatomical Research in Colorado Springs, Colorado, which is a 501c3 laboratory, and it's dedicated to promoting a deeper understanding of the gift of the human body. I love that so much. And so look for those email updates. Again, that's going to be Kristen Toth interviewing Gil Headley. So I hope you can join us. And thank you again, Aaron and Chrissy and Sarah, for all your behind the scenes support. It's been such a joy to be together. So until next time, stay safe, be good to one another and to yourselves. Bye for now. Bye, Aaron. Thank you so much.